Episode 100 of Airgun Fan, my 150th video overall here on YouTube. And quite frankly, I didn't think I was going to make it this far. Got a couple surprises for you today. That was sent to me Pony Express, just delivered by the postman about 1:40. There we go again. 10 dozen package peanuts. Okay. And receipt. Small box, file under miscellaneous. I'm really gonna hurt me with these doggone packages. Doggone thing. Holy. Bubble wrap envelope, but it's like folded over and stapled or something. Well, that's a big tin for a 500 count. Air Arms Dome Diabolo 22 pellets. 500 count, as I said, and 16 grain even. The H&N Hornet 22s are 16.2 grain, and the Gamma Hunter 22s are 15.42, which do really well. So I figured, well, this one being 16 grains, kind of in the middle of both of those, by 20 grains or so, then that should work rather well. Yellow tape, and they fold it over like a little arrow right here. So you got something to grab a hold of without taking a razor knife and cutting out to get it loose. Keep that off my finger. Okay, let's. One guy, I think it was one of the Facebook groups, said these are. I can't get the lid off. Oh great, now my left arm cramped up right here. Got a pinched nerve right there. Anyway, said they were made by JSB. Well, it does screw down. Got the foam in it too, just like JSB uses in their tins. So there might be something to it. And I don't know if you can see, I don't want to tip this too far. If you can see those. Not the shiniest, cleanest ones I've ever seen, but typical dome head Diabolo. And the skirt is hollow, the head is solid. A little down below the head, going into the skirt. The top third or so of the skirt is all, and the head is all solid, in other words. And oh, here we go again. I can't get that on there straight. Okay, well anyway, there's this Air Arms Diabolo Field domed. And now, here's another one I've been trying to get a hold of for years. Just like the Crossman Model 70 here. rare and hard to find where somebody will actually let go of one. They both go from around 200 to as high as 350, 375. So, is it your winner? Well, got a couple of different pieces here. Oh, I did it again. Put my knife away. Open the boxes before I started the video. Oh, come here. Open the boxes before I started the video and put the knife away. That's starting to think I need something that calls dang tape off. And as I said, I stopped using packaging tape on the bubble wrap because you just flat out can't see it. Well, I got a place to set the knife on without poking the knife away. Just okay. Yeah, scratched and dinged scratches. And how did they get that bolt out of there without... There's some kind of stuff stuck in the little grooves right there too. I'll have to get that out. Kind of small too right here, just like this. The grip doesn't extend as far as it used to. It's a lot skinnier right here, seems to me. Just set that down for a minute. Okay. Well, rubber band. Couple of nice rubber bands I can save. Just can't get it off the end of the darn barrel. Well, I can get that off there to save my life. Boy, that's a couple of big rubber bands. Put the bubble wrap around. And the barrel, yeah, it's got rust pits on it, just like the 760D Pump Master. Friend of a friend pulled it out of a trash can. Out junking one day. Oh, come on. And another rubber band? You gotta be kidding. Well, 3 more big heavy rubber bands for the collection. That's pretty good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, I can't get it. Like 5 big rubber bands and a bunch of tape. Well, anyway, yep. I thought that was the same bolt as the 160 pellet gun up there, but it's not. That's the same old brass probe. They took that acorn nut off there and screwed this little ball on there that's a lot like the other one. And brass is all pitted and scratched off right there and everything. That's scratched up pretty bad. Oh, here we go. Made after July 1975 because there's a serial number on the receiver right there. 376. This was built in my birth month, March 1976. I'd gotten hired at Ford in Brook, Cleveland, June 30th, 1976. How about that? A year and a few months before Sharon and I got married. And it clearly says Crossman 761 XL there. This was the top shelf version. And it's got the dovetail grooves for the scope. It's got the rectangular port to put the BBs in the internal magazine, and this little switch right there for this little, you can see through the slot here, you got an 18 BB magazine that goes right there. Yeah, I'm gonna, you know what? Yeah, this part here has been apart once because the bolt that locks in between these pieces back up in there, like about here, is on the end of the bolt there. I don't know what kind of a retard would do that. But we will have to get that back on there and then get this thing cleaned up a little bit. Well, okay, the safety works. Typical of a 760 safety button. And this one being in March 76 is self-cocking. That's to say, when you pump it, it's supposed to cock. Not getting anything though. Alrighty then. Anyway, I spared you the hassle of watching me get the stock back on. And both forestock and buttstock are totally unique to this 761 XL. There's a 760 XL too I've read about. Haven't actually seen one. But you can see how short the wood part of the grip is where it goes into the back of the receiver. So you're going to be holding that thing. It's forcing you to hold it further up on the receiver, which you kind of have to do anyway when you go to cock it. And you can see that it's got the old school adjustable piston in it with the black cup around the outside of the piston that actually forms the seal, with the that felt band around there that takes the place of like what would be the oil scraper ring on a car piston. In this case, it's the oiler piston. And that's it, baby. Soak it up. 2 or 3 drops of oil and work it back and forth a little. There, 3rd drop, and we'll call it square. I want to use my Umarex screwdriver that comes with the cleaning kit and these 6 bits here. I used the smaller of the 2 standard bits on the right, which fits the screws on the receiver on this thing rather well. You work the piston back and forth like that to get that felt oiler ring right there to smear oil in back in here, because the valve is in about here. Okay. Nothing. Seals are shot. I kind of expected that, but you kind of hope anyway, you know. And now we'll try some Never Dull. I got this at the flea market, God, about 20 years ago, maybe 25, for like $3. Might be $5, $6 now, but this stuff lasts forever. Take the dirty ones, put them back in there, and they soak up the chemical again, see? It smells like some kind of waxy cleaner or other, near as I could explain. And got some Rem oil and patches out too. We'll clean her up a little bit. Wow. That Never Dull wants to work right now, doesn't it? All that dirt right there. Just look at the houndstooth. Well, we'll get it. Once we get the thing apart, we can get in here around the tight edges and all that, when the barrel and everything won't be on there, to get that all nice and clean. The rear sight is screwed on as usual, but there's a metal plate under it right there with no provision for an adjuster. I don't know why that is. Couldn't hazard a guess. But it does have the dovetail grooves molded in. So we will get a Winchester 4x32 AO scope like I put on the 160 Pelgan up there to put on this one, because they have the AO adjuster on the front goes down to 15 and 30 feet, 5 and 10 yards respectively, which is perfect for these low to mid-powered air guns when you're just target shooting. Okay. Let's see. What we get here. Because even the steel, or I mean, this is a zinc die casting showing through, seems to want to shine up relatively easily. And that's, I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but the bolt probe is the same old brass L-shaped bolt probe they use on all the other 760s, but they took the acorn nut off and screwed this little steel ball on there. So it's a bit more like the 160 Pelgun bolt. This thing is got a lot of dings on there, like I don't know. It's been late. A lot of dings out, like it's almost like it's been in a sandstorm or something, for lack of a better expression at the moment. But we'll shine it up and see what we can get here. Clean it up real good. I gotta order seal kit, maybe an assembly kit for this thing. The assembly kits are basically a seal kit with screws and stock mounting pins and stuff like that that you might typically need when you're rebuilding one of these. The assembly kit costs a little more, but it's just downright handy. I really like to replate this receiver too, but being a zinc die casting, you have to clean all the brass and everything off, plating and everything off, polish the metal up, and then you copper plate that to cover the zinc, so you can then put the brass plating over top of that, or nickel or whatever, but in this case brass. Clean that up. Yeah, interesting, the serial number was March 76. It was built 3 months, probably to the day, before I got hired at Ford in Cleveland, as I said before. Yeah, that's looking a little better. Not great, because there's a lot of scoring and pitting on there. And the guy did tell me that, but I figured, well, I paid 25 bucks for it, and another $20 shipping, and I was only off by about $1.75 or so on the shipping, as we agreed to, you know. Okay. Said using a blue paper shop towel. Using one of these Otis 3-inch patches, you clean up to a 12 gauge with that. So yeah, that'll work. There's a 100 pack. You got the smaller pack, but about 100 pack of these, and the 1000 pack of the round 7/8 inch ones from Brownells.com for cleaning the 177 and 22 calibers, and I got the Brownells woven heavy kind of tan color patches, looks like burlap or something, and 1 3/8 inch square to use with a 22 caliber spear tip jag to clean the 25s. Okay. Trying to get around front here first. I think it looks the best where the end of the stock covers this little part right there. Yeah, look at that. Down here, getting some dirt off of that thing. And the barrel is not as rusty as the 760D Pump Master was, but pretty darn close. These two, nobody wants to oil these things. You always have to wind up cleaning them. Let's see if I got a 4x32 center point left laying around. I think I do. Let me swear to it. Got extra scopes, but they're not usually the ones I want. I'm going to start even replacing the Simmons 4x32s, which have really good lens grinds, with the Winchester 4x32 AO, because you can adjust them down to 5 yards and 10 respectively. But yeah, look at that. Pulling some dirt off of that thing. Shows how much pitting is on them though. Okay. Just wanted to shine the brass up as good as I can. It really needs to be replated. I kind of hate to do that, but it's beat up pretty bad. The plating on it's just about gone. But the hard thing around here, and I've got to be honest with you, they're all, there's a lot of little plating shops around, but they're all like commercial. You don't do custom stuff, which is kind of stupid. I've been working on Mid-Ohio Hydro, and he's agreeable to, if he can get enough dippers, he said. Joe at MidOhioHydro.com in Mansfield. They do a lot of commercial work. Now what he needs is more dippers to have enough to be able to put aside enough time, like say 2 or 3 to 2 to 5 days a month, let's say, for doing custom jobs like he did on my Remington 725 VTR you all saw, dipped in Realtree Edge. Well, he did that. What? I thought I heard something hit the floor. Must have put something on my foot. Well, anyway. Even more dirt. The thing I like about that magic wadding, as they used to call it in the old days, that never dull, is just great for pulling the dirt out of the pores of the metal and get the surface cleaned up. Okay, I can do this quickly. Okay, tear out another piece. I'll try to tear out a fresh piece of the wadding, magic wadding. They used to call them never dull back in the old days. Back when I was a teenager, if I remember right. Just, it definitely likes to work real well at pulling the dirt out of the surface of the metal. I just thought that was a good idea to do, to see what we're basically dealing with. The butt plate is in real nice shape on this thing. It's only got a little bit of something smeared into the little grooves in the center of the butt plate. So I got to get out a brass brush and some cleaner, and as time goes on, get that cleaned out real good. Sand around the edges to get some of the chipping and scratching smoothed out, and you put 1 coat of True Oil on there, and just set it, hang it on something and let it dry. It'll look like new. One of the little things I do when I'm restoring them, that leaves some little minor dings and little tiny scratches in there where you have to sand the wood too much to get it off, or the plastic parts, or like that, and then re-glue the steel parts, and it'll look more like it might have been a while since it's been restored, or like it's been taken care of but still showing signs of use. That's how I like to restore them. But yeah, now I've got a 761 XL and a Model 70. Two of the rare, highly sought after models everybody wants. And everybody wants one that's, well, basically, if you're not mechanically inclined to easily learn to restore these things, then you're going to have to spend a lot more money than I did to get a really good example of one of these. Especially the 761 XLs and the Model 70 there. Highly sought after, beautiful guns. They're unusually beautiful crossmans, as you might put it. And to get one of like a 761 XL or a Model 70 there, that's say hardly shot, well cared for, good to excellent, like new condition, can cost anywhere from $250 to $350, $375. You are going to pay for it. I got this for 45 bucks. Put a little work into it. I've got everything but the seal kit and figuring out a way to replate the receiver here. You know, so yeah, pulled some more dirt out. It looks like finger dirt, that kind of color, you know, that ruddy tan, grayish tan colored stuff. Just wanted to pull some dirt out of the surface of that there brass. Okay. Try some on this side again. It just got right through here. Kind of a dingy spot. I just can't quite get it clean. This thing's been put through its paces though. Somebody enjoyed it, which is the whole point, but these rare ones like this you even got from Western Auto stores and stuff. When I was a kid, there was one in North Ridgeville. I looked at one of these. In the 160 pellet gun series. My dad wouldn't buy me one, and I wasn't making enough off my paper routes yet to have saved enough to, you know, buy one. More dirt, same ruddy tannish gray kind of, I call it finger dirt for lack of a better expression. Just dirt from handling. But at least I got everything back together and it seems to have all its pieces. Okay, that's a little better. You notice how this has more of an angle to it, like a bevel. It's a little more rounded right here. It's wider on the bottom and the top, so you got the adult has a little more to grab a hold of. But that pistol grip is shorter through here because you're grabbing it further up into here. You can see because the plating's wore off. Okay. Patches on. I can work with the rim oil here to wipe down the stock and the barrel and everything a little bit so it's taken care of a bit until which point everything gets refinished and all of that. And it's got some rust coming off of that right quick. Be expected. They shoot the heck out of them, don't oil them often enough, and never wipe the barrel and the pump tube down with some gun oil. Still got that yellow sticker on there though. It tells you where to oil it, how many drops and all that stuff. My variant 1 doesn't have that. the 760 with the Tootsie Roll stock, 4 stock. They told you that in the instruction manual, and you're supposed to remember it after that. As that was concerned. Look at that. There's some serious dirt off of that one. Okay. I think that front ramp sight is plastic on some of the later ones. Once you get past July 75. Being 76. The brass actually got some shine. I can see my reflection in that thing, even though it is pitted and whatnot like that. Let's see now. Variant 3, variant 4, so far as time period is concerned, being March 76. I'll take a few coats of oil. I am getting some dirt and whatnot out of that thing. No, not holding enough. Holding enough air. Look at the dirt that came off on the barrel in the pump tube. Okay. Oil. Oh yeah, you can look up here. That oil was, even the 4 stock needed a rubbing. You can see that poor wood was dry. It'll get refinished later, so that's not going to matter. That doesn't mean show it a little respect. Black dirt. Okay. And wipe some more dirt off just from what oil got on the surface. Besides some black dirty lint coming out of the little slot right in there. This thing's been laying for a while. And once again, that shit happens. Okay, there's dirt off the 4 stock. One more cleaning patch left. These are the 1 3/8" burlap patches from Brownells I use with a 22 caliber jag to clean the 25 cal barrels right away, like I told you before. good anymore. I can barely get my trigger finger to work, which unfortunately is my lift. Yep, that's definitely a piece of elm. You can tell by all the grain details, and the dark pores in between the growth lines, you know, that form the lines in the grain when it's quarter sawn or however else they, you know, cut them. Darn nice wood though. That's gonna look great. But personally, oh, I did it. Oh, I can't pick it up either. No. Personally, I like the color of this stock is it's comparative to Minwax number 224 Special Walnut. This absolutely nails the color of the wood stocks from the original 760 Power Masters. But this has a reddish tone to it, like it's got a little bit of number 231 gun stock added to it. It's my professional opinion. So I am going to have to play around with how to match stock color first. Okay, more finger dirt. That's the most common form of dirt you're going to pull off of these gun stocks, is the dirt mixed with the greasy lanolin stuff on your hands. There. That's done. And there's what it looks like. You look at the grain in that buttstock closely, you can see the darker colored pores between the growth lines, or the grain lines, whatever you want to call them. That's definitely elm, which is the same wood used on the Model 70 there, and my 760 Power Master Variant 1. This is probably a late Variant 3, early Variant 4. I got that crooked. That's not sitting on there straight. Fairly straight down here, but it's sticking up above right there, so I don't think this is the stock that fits that rifle. I'll have to sand that down right there a little more. Other than that though, it's even the brass shined up half decent. Hand marks off that a little bit. And set that down for a minute. feels like it wants to pump a little bit, but it's not holding any. Like you can feel a little back pressure. And the trigger is blued on this one, unlike the trigger on the variant 1, which was like spray painted gold or something like that, like a gold leaf or brass maybe. I gotta buy some of this. It's like powdered metal in a clear base that you get from this one craft place online I found last night that you paint on. It's got powdered metal in it, and I guess you can buff it like metal, like some of those paints they make for model planes and stuff like that, so it actually looks like polished aluminum or whatever like that planes use, aircraft's aluminum. And there it is. That's a nice rifle. I like that elm too. I like the grain details in the elm. And this is more rounded, bigger back here. You can see it's a little hair more like a Model 70 or something like that. It's rather unique for the 761 XL. They've got their own stocks. You can't get these stocks off anything else. Some guys have these things where the stocks are broken. They're trying to find another one to get the stocks off of. And I just put the thing back together, smooth it out a little bit, and send it to somebody and have it carved out of some nice black walnut or something. Custom stocks are pretty good. But I'm just glad that you guys have been watching and enjoying this show for as long as you have. 100 episodes don't sound like a lot to some, but that's a lot to me. It's a lot of work to make all those episodes. Besides, each one of these things taken completely apart and going through and rebluing all the steel parts, including the screws and other fasteners, junk like that, the sights and everything. And small parts like the screws and the sights, you can use a stainless steel wire wheel and a Dremel to polish them up. It gives about a 600 grit shine. And glue them up, and then you can put them in a small container, soak it, covered with bluing to soak for half an hour or so, and they come out looking good. But it's been a long ride since the first videos I did was restoring the 160 Pel gun, which now has its second valve replacement, the Archer XP tuned valve they made for the QB78, which is copied from like a variant 2 or 3 160 Pel gun. And supposed to give it another 70 feet per second, which should be up as high as 730 feet per second. Once I get a new chronograph, then we'll just put that theory to the test. Besides testing the 725 BTR, which I've since done part of a lube tune on and had it dipped in the Realtree Edge camo by Mid-Ohio Hydro over in Mansfield. I'll put all kind of links and junk in the description for y'all. And I've got also the 760 variant Power Master variant 1 turned out really good. Looks like a low-grade flame maple. They covered up with that murky sort of spray stain they use that hides the bolder, heavier grain of the cheaper woods they made the stocks out of, so it looks more expensive than it really is. You wanted to hide that stuff in the old days so it looked better in their minds, but to me, our generation, down to the younger people, we like to see the grain. We want to see the wood grain. Natural wood grain is beautiful. And even in the pre-64 Winchester Model 70s, which this Craftsman is copied from their base model, the Ranger, which had beechwood stock with no checkering. Even back then, they had what they call the super grade, had better checkering, had better quality wood and everything. It had bolder grain patterns and stuff in it, whatnot like that, which was considered beautiful. Even then. So why would Craftsman think any different? Oh, seriously, look at that. That's nice looking wood. That elm. Where Route 254 up there around the corner from me, called Detroit Road, locally goes through now. 150, 180 years ago, that was all hemlock and elm and stuff like that, growing on a ridge, a high spot. This is lower than the ridge over there, so to say, so they call it Ridge Road, in honor of the lay of the land, so to say. But even the grass looks a little better because that dingy stuff off there, pitted and everything, but it still wants to shine. And the wood looks nice. Rub it with some oil, don't look half bad, but I'll strip it and make it look better. Because it's sticking up too high right there, about 1/16 of an inch. So a little more right there, so it need to hug it down a little bit to match right here. It'll match up a little better. Couldn't adjust it out. It's cut too far here and not enough right there. Somebody went all right. So it's been a long ride, but the adventure ain't over yet. So many guns. This is my 5th 760. At least I got the 761 XL, the top shelf special model, to go with the rest of my collection over here. So I'm overflowing by 3 rifles. I need more room. Just definitely need more room. I don't know, you know. Put this Model 70 back in the gun rack, and the 77 will have to move down the bench one because I got the 76 here. Or boy, I don't know. I really don't know. I need to put that somewhere. But anywho, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll have my email associated with my PayPal account in the description below, so that y'all can donate a little money if you want. I had 2 folks donate some money so far. One a quadriplegic who wants to remain nameless. Donated $112, and another feller donated $1.10. Thank you for that. Being retired, it's getting tough to pay for all these parts and tools and, you know, all that sort of thing to keep the channel going besides camera stuff and everything. And now I got to replace the card socket on my tower because it doesn't want to read. I'm having trouble getting it to initiate reading the card from the camera. But as always, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We'll see you again. Thanks for watching all this time. I really do appreciate it. Y'all are great for that. I don't know what else to say, but thank you.